perfect fit.
Thanks so much for being along here on Mountain State Football 2012. I'm Mark Martin. Great to have you along. The football season moves along at a rapid pace. Several high school teams in the great state of West Virginia will be wrapping up their regular seasons this coming weekend with Game 10. The George Washington Patriots have 2 games left on the docket, not to mention postseason action. GW is again one of the front runners of Class AAA football in West Virginia for this 2012 campaign. Outstanding teams like GW are made up of fine players. Josh Lewis says that one of the Patriot Impact performers is keeping the family's football name going in a positive way while making a name for himself.
George Washington High School has a pair of D1 athletes in Ryan Switzer and Dustin Krauser. But the Patriots are far from a two-headed monster. When teams pay too much attention to those two, others get a chance to make plays. Guys like Jordan Clay, a great young man who comes from a great family and also has a bright future. You could say Jordan Clay has lived his entire life in a shadow cast by his big brother Cody, who's making a name for himself at West Virginia. You could say that, but Jordan would disagree.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm living in the shadows of him, you know, because, yeah, we've been so close all my life, so I don't consider being in the shadow. It just, we're proud of each other. We help each other out when we need it. We give each other tips. Well, he gives me more tips than I give him, obviously.
Those tips have certainly paid off because the younger Clay is making a name for himself at George Washington High School, a two-way player that rarely comes off the field.
You can play him all the time. He doesn't want to come out. He doesn't see that he needs any need to come out, and he'll play whatever you want him to play. Never has question like, why am I doing this or anything like that. You tell him to do it, and he does it, and he does it to the best of his ability.
Clay has ability, and he also possesses a work ethic. A staple in the weight room throughout the offseason, putting in some extra work has never been something Jordan Clay has shied away from.
Well, it all starts in the offseason, you know. We had a trainer this year, and we're just working hard with him, and it all starts there. And then, of course, a 2-day start, and you got to work hard then, get prepared for the scrimmage game, and then now, you know, you're in the season, and you're working up each game, each week, trying to get to the state championship again.
The state championship, where GW was denied by Martinsburg last year, a game Clay has thought about plenty since that December afternoon in Wheeling nearly 1 year ago.
Honestly, every day. They're a great team, you know, and so are we. And I think that with a few more plays that we could have made, that it could have changed it, you know. And so that's what you work for in the offseason, just trying to be able to get to make those plays, you know.
Regardless of how this season ends for GW, there are only a handful of games left for Clay as a high school football player. Next year he plans on playing in college. He has a great frame, 6'5", and while he only weighs 190 pounds, Clay is optimistic he'll be able to get to 210 or so by the time his freshman year comes around. And soon he'll have a decision to make on where to go to college.
I think he's got some Division I ability. I think he could be at that level, but I think you know, a Division II is definitely in his future for sure. And you know, with a little luck and the right place and the right spot, you know, I think a Division I, you know, could come his way.
I'm just gonna wait and see after my senior season, see how everything works out, and see what scholarships are open and what's there for me, and then I'll take what feels the best. Education's always first, and whatever I feel is good for education and good for football, I'll go.
The University of Charleston and Concord have already offered Jordan Clay. He's also gained interest from smaller D1 schools like the Air Force Academy, Richmond, and Towson. No matter where he goes, Mark, no doubt that school is getting a steal.
All right, thank you, Josh. Clay and the Patriots would love nothing better than to return to Wheeling Island Stadium and capture that second state title in school history, which, by the way, was won 30 years ago this season right here in the capital city. Steve Edwards Sr.'s Patriots defeated the North Marion Huskies for the crown. Edwards Sr. is still coaching football, the top assistant to son Steve Jr., the head coach at GW. Well, stay with us. We are far from through on this edition of Mountain State Football 2012. When we come back, A.J. Good will take us to Wayne's World and profile a leader for Tom Harmon's latest edition of the Pioneers. You're watching Mountain State Football 2012, a presentation of Eyewitness Sports.